So I've been on the lookout for a book. I was looking for Caged in Chaos specifically from local library, just so I could get a better feel for it and see if it, by the title it sounds like her story would be quite an interesting one. I'm going to put these on for a second because my eyes. Okay, I found, I didn't find Caged in Chaos. I may be able to order that. I did find developmental coordination disorders in adults, and it's quite a concise read. It's quite structured, like scientifically structured, like the references, and I like the way it's written. Not so much like from first person experience, but gathering all the different current studies and information. In the first, let's just go over what chapters are in there. So there's 8 chapters and corresponding appendix, 7. Yeah, corresponding appendixes. 9 appendixes, but not corresponding with the chapters in a direct linear, like chapter 1 corresponds to appendix 1. The first 2, I would say, first 4 chapters, they do cover adult as well as childhood, just because there's not much studies in childhood of developmental coordination disorder. There are more studies in children and adolescents and adults. So the first chapter is about what is DCD, developmental coordination disorder. Second, the developmental cause of DCD. The third, assessment. The fourth, on intervention and remediation. Fifth, on adult learner. So that is in education, educational and academic settings. The adult at work, in employment. The adult at play, in social and emotional context, and the adult at home, daily living and personal care, etc. And then, appendix looks at the adult at learner, adult at work, adult at play, adult at home, assistive technology and ICT, further reading, useful contacts, glossary terms and tests. So I think it's really well put together. It was written for the author's mother. The author is Sharon Drew. And it was very informative just in a couple of hours. I've had it, and I'll read out a few bits. I'll just keep this video short for today. I've been thinking whether it's worth the assessment or not, even though I have tried. Most I've come across have either been unwilling or reluctant to point me in a certain direction. And the other factor is finances, that you do. As an adult, as a child, this was never on the cards. You do have to pay for an assessment. So, I think assessment or diagnosis or not, like finding and in embedding the right support system structure of various, like on an individual level, definitely is something that is important for DCD or not, for each specific case, but in this case, DCD. So I want to go quickly over the subtypes. I'm going to use different names from some of the previous references. So there's postural motor, where the muscle tone is affected, weak or not, but normal. Balance and quality of movement, difficulty using two sides of the body, and coordination. Musculoskeletal, extreme joint laxity due to a combination of loose ligaments and low average muscle tone. Adopt different compensatory postures. Adopted. So like adjusting your posture to constantly find a way to compensate or to mitigate your musculoskeletal structure and experience. I was saying, we'll just focus on sensory integration and perceptual motor. So, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 different types here. So, in sensory integration, inefficiency modulating and discriminating tactile, proprioceptive, and vestibular sensory information for the development of postural motor control, subsequent and praxis function, thus producing an adaptive response. So praxis is ideation, planning, sequencing. So when this is like the whole sensory thing, I think in the first couple of videos, where you can't differentiate one sense from another, maybe it's like a synesthesia type for some people, but you know, like I get like, I hear and feel as if I'm being touched pressure-wise and all sorts of weird things, see and feel as if I'm being moved, and and then the perceptual motor is poor body awareness and difficulties integrating visual and auditory information to motor output, implications on academic learning and activities of daily living. So just quickly that, and then something that I hope I can find. I hope I can find it now. Coming towards the end. I find the chapter 7, adult at play, is really, for me, social and emotional implications, DCD. I don't go out self-proclaiming. I actually forget myself, even after I found out about dyspraxia and DCD. So I don't go out and, yell to every single person, yell, screaming, or like, it's not something that I inform every single person who crosses my way, like, oh, by the way, I have dyspraxia, by the way, I have dyspraxia. So it's something like, even though I have like structure or like organizational things set me in place, like I have to really put it physically out there visually in my environment, so like a notice board, or like whether it's images or written. But I don't like too much text or information, so I try to summarize that, like even like little routines, important things. I need to get one up in this room. I had one in my old place, either a whiteboard or a notice board, corkboard, but even a chalkboard, mind, where I can put the main things out, because I do find that it affects me more than I know, emotionally, intuitively, like my ability to hear my intuition and listen to perceptualize, and then socially as a consequence. And it's like inadvertently, and sometimes the cost is greater than others, and that is we can get into that another time, I suppose. That is like exhausting, and can be exhausting. And back to support and like having people around who know and think it's a blessing when you have mirrors. Also, like, people can tolerate all your moods and at the same time give you objective feedback to what is happening, or help you center. So I don't know if I'll find this. Maybe I'll just like put in the comments and put this quote in the comments. It's towards the end. In the last year I found it. I'll just say it really quickly and end it here. So it's a summary to the adult at home. It appears that across their lifespan, individuals with DCD continue to experience difficulties with activities of daily living. As a young person grows, the expectations increase, and so do the levels of frustration when attempting many activities. Those with mild difficulties often accommodate to them and eventually master skills, but those with moderate to severe difficulties continue to experience difficulties across a range of skills and tasks. Adaptations and practical strategies can increase the success of individual, leading to success within the home and daily living. So that's for the adult at home, and then the summary to the social and emotional, which numerous studies have examined the social, emotional, and behavioral problems associated with motor difficulties, leading to growing evidence that the lack of movement skill may have damaging consequences for social and psychological development. Studies of adolescents with DCD have shown consistently lower health-related and skill-related fitness levels than the average individuals. Adult studies are not yet available, but a similar picture is predicted. The low levels of fitness can contribute to early fatigue and limit motor skill development. It does say it doesn't want energy levels and pain. Yeah, like fibromyalgia, but like muscular pain is common in another part of the book. Many adults with DCD engage less in recreation activities and tend to remain single and live in a home with parents or relatives. In view of the likelihood of developing social and emotional difficulties, the importance of leisure, and a healthy lifestyle for adults with DCD is significant. Unfortunately, motivational factors based on previous experiences weigh heavily. However, for those who have been able to find solace in a leisure pursuit, they have often been able to reveal strengths previously unrecognized. But they do go into a lot of detail, like with all the different aspects of life and DCD, driving, university, getting, it's quite, for the size of the book especially, like the writing's not that tiny. Not a bad book so far. I'll spend some more time with it and see what comes of it. There are a few other books that I will talk about in future videos of this series. I'm going to leave it at 7. I'm going to leave it here at this video. Not how long for. Just so, because there are some other topics that I will be sharing. So yeah, books such as I'll mention some of them just so if anyone is interested. Let's see if anyone has read Caged in Chaos, then I'd like to hear or see what you read of it. I've read the reviews of this on Amazon and online. Excuse me. Executive Functions. I forget the author's name. I'll find it. And another related one might be Body Sense. I'll leave it at those books for now. And they're not well, they're bigger than this book, those two books, those other books, and they're not DCD specific. However, they do go into DCD related topics. I'm just reminded of a friend who has other convictions, who thinks that they may have DCD as well, and they, I think, are looking into getting taken trials. So I'll update on that and I next speak with them. So till next time, be well. Over and out.